Welcome back to Smok'n Jay's Garage. Today we're going to talk about the #1 modification that you can do to your C6 Corvette, according to me. Now remember, best can be very subject to personal preference and the way that you use your car. Now we do have a cam in this car, we have headers, we have a full exhaust, we have a catless X-pipe. We went ahead and we put side skirts on it, and we have a spoiler, so we have some engine modifications, we have some appearance modifications. None of those made #1 though. I actually narrowed it down to 2, and it was very hard to distinguish, for me anyway, which one of those was actually better. So at #2 we came in with the shifter. I have an MGW shifter, and I really like that. That is a huge improvement over stock. But the reason that it made #2 is because a lot of you, especially if you do not have a Z06, a lot of you have automatics, and so putting an aftermarket shifter in is not really an option for you. So we're gonna go in a little bit more detail on that shifter, and then we'll tell you what #1 is in just a second. So if you take a look at this shifter, this looks really good. We went with the flat stick. You have the option of the round one. You also now have the option to put a threaded ball on, which is what I have done. I have this one custom made for this car so that it matches. And then those are options you can't get with the standard shifter. In addition to, this is very smooth, very short throw, very precise. You really got to move it to off center to get your gears. Very fast, very smooth, and I really like it. But for those of you who don't have manuals, this really isn't an option for you. And so what made #1 for me was the steering wheel. A lot of people complain that they call it the Cobalt steering wheel on these C6s, right? Well, they put it in a Saturn as well. But it was not that cool looking, and a lot of people complain about it. I went ahead, I always wanted a suede leather steering wheel. I got this one custom made at SoCal Garage Works. Check them out online if you're interested, because they do offer a variety of different steering wheels, different options. I went with the full suede, and I went with the yellow center stripe, the yellow stitching, which matched my car. You've also got a little hand grip here, right? If you're driving at 10 and 2, very comfortable here. You got a notch in here for a thumb if you're driving at 3 and 6. In addition to the flat bottom that gives you a little bit extra room and looks cool, you've also got an extra handle over here that is comfortable. You've also got an indent here. I typically drive with my left hand. An indent here that fits your palm perfectly. Is very comfortable to drive with. I have done several road trips of over 1,000 miles with this steering wheel, and it is very comfortable. I'm gonna let you come around, and I'm gonna let you get a closer look at it. So here's a closer look at the steering wheel. You can see we've got the center stripe, we've got the stitching to match, and you can have this done any color that you want. You got the nice hand grip over here, a little bit wider. You got the cut in for your thumb if you hold over here. The cut here for your palm if you hold it over here. The extra here if you hold your whole hand on the bottom. Obviously the flat bottom looks very good. Super happy with this, and I'll tell you in just a second here why the steering wheel is the #1. So the steering wheel is something that you are holding on to all the time. Whether you drive with one hand, whether you drive with two hands, whether you're going on a short trip, a long trip, no matter how you drive, if you are in your car, you've got at least one hand on the steering wheel. And so it is something that you get to use all the time. Very similar to a shifter if you have a manual. Every time you go through those gears, you feel that, and you get to enjoy that firmer shift, that shorter throw, things like that. But that obviously made #2 because of the amount of people that have automatics that they can't benefit from that. But the steering wheel is just something that maybe that's just a me thing, but you gotta add an extra 100 horsepower to your car, which we have done. How often do we use that additional 100 horsepower? Maybe 10% of the time. And the sound, obviously, we showed you a sound clip earlier. That's what I get complimented on the most, is the sound of it. But, except by the neighbors. I don't get the compliments from the neighbors. The guy that lives like a mile down the road, he likes it. But the steering wheel is something that you are always using, you're always holding on to, and that's why it made #1 in my book. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite thing is, and if you're watching this channel for the first time and you haven't already, and you want to, boom, please subscribe.